Hello, everybody. We got Tony in the house. Peaceful Des is here hanging out. Someone else just came in but hasn't said anything yet. Hi. As you can see, it's cold, cold, snowy, and cold. Sun is shining. It's a nice clear day, but nice clear day, nice clear night means temperature's going to drop off big time. So, cloud cover in the nighttime is a good thing because it keeps everything warm. It's like a blanket. But that's it. It's time of the year. I'll take the clear nights. Hey, BC Gerbs, thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. And I got my nightbot working again. Peter in Jonesy's that I just left from had said that a lot of people were having trouble with Nightbot, and what was happening was it's no longer had its moderator privileges. So I went in and re-added it as a moderator, and now it's working again. So thank you, Peter. That worked out really good. Thank you, Gerbs. Yep, so when you type backstep in that now, it should all work. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Hey, Peter, thank you for, I was just talking about and saying thank you for that little bit of info that you had given over on Jonesy's about Nightbot and how to get it to work again. That's exactly what my problem was. It was no longer in the moderator status. So I just went in and re-added it. Very simple process. And it worked out great. You can see the sun slowly slipping away from everything on my out my window there. This side of the harbor is usually in the shade of the mountains regardless. So, hey, the Odd Collective, ALT, thank you so much for stopping in. And Nicole, hi. Nikki, I should say Nikki because we have some other Nicoles and it gets confusing. So yeah, thank you guys. Devil Dog. Devil Dog says nope. Nope. The Collective. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys for coming over and hanging out. I do hear somebody scraping a shovel outside. Radio Jonesy. Hey, Jonesy. Don't make yourself late for work now again. Made yourself late for work the other day. Nicole's dropping some links for me. Thank you so much. Hey, Andrew Jacobs. Thank you for stopping in. Daniel Berry Sports. Everybody's saying hello. Ooh, full-time job, keep it over comments. No, I don't like shoveling snow either. It's pain. Big time. Well, I can hear somebody outside shoveling now, and I don't feel bad because I'm inside not shoveling. Nope. It is cold here, Mr. Jobs. It is minus 11 Celsius. So whatever that works out to be is like maybe 10 Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. Cole's still dropping some links. Hi. Your cousin's in Michigan hates it too. Yup. Hey, Bud Falls. Thanks for stopping in. How are you? Glad you could make it. The sun is slowly creeping its way across the mountain there now. Soon it's going to be behind it all. Next time, I think I'm going to try to set my camera up so you can see the sun going down, see the sunset. And you just watch next week at this time. It'll be all overcast. You won't be able to see nothing. And today, I never had time to really work out how to get my camera over in the other window yet. So, yeah. That'll be a next week thing, though. So, it's been another week on my back step. I have not gotten much more done on my step as of yet. My new video coming out, I think, is a short one, if I'm not mistaken. And it will be going about my solar panel stuff. So that is... Hello, thank you for coming in. As Mode. I'm horrible with names, I'm sorry. But thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, all in Canada. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Goodbye, Nicole. Thank you. But yeah. Okay. I thought I was muted for this whole while, but I wasn't. Looking at two things here with Al Chafe on it, and one of them is muted, and I'm like, oh, have I been muted the entire time? Yeah, don't tempt them. Hey, Tony. No. Oh, I know I would, Jerbs. I know I would. There's no StreamYard? What do you mean there's no StreamYard? What are you talking about? I'm here. Oh, crud. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys. Yeah. There we go. I'll fix it. There we go. Now I got the link pinned. It's because I was late getting here. See, and I'm kind of rushing around and stuff, and I forgot. Hey, P Digits, thank you so much for coming in, and there we go. Waiting on that, weren't you?
I kind of figured normally you put it up before the stream starts.
Yeah. I was just kind of rushing through things. I was late coming off of Jonesy's and trying to get my camera set up and hooked up, and I was like, it's like a strange. Nobody tried to come up yet. Nicole said, "There's no baby." I was like, oh. Yeah. How are you doing, Tony?
I'm doing great. You want some of these flies, though?
Only if I can send all of the snow. I'll take 2 for all of this snow.
Hey, the snow would melt here so fast.
Oh, I bet it would. I'll take some of that sun and warm.
Now, this is hot for you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll take some of that and in place of this snow any day. Although, you know, I don't mind the cold. Cold doesn't bother me that much. But
it's a lot easier to deal with, you know.
So, well, I think I'm more acclimated to the cold weather. Like, I can go out in my t-shirt in -10 and 20 and I can stay out for a little while. Not now. I do get cold, yes, but if I'm doing something, like if I was out shoveling or something, I'd have to take off my coat and hat and everything.
Oh
And,
yeah, that's
you
tank
know,
top and
yeah, and people are looking at you like, what's wrong with you? I'm warm. But I don't mind the cold, but I'd much rather live somewhere where the climate's more tempered.
yeah. I mean, for me, the Northwest is the best. I mean, Jerb's gonna agree. He lives there. It
yeah,
doesn't get super cold. It doesn't get super hot. Yes, you're gonna have snow. Yes, you're gonna have sun, but you can't beat it.
yeah. Well, that's what I was looking at with it. Is it's nice to be able to chill out and relax in the summertime. It's not going to get overly hot. In the winter time, it's not going to get overly cold. Might have a few weeks of snowfall or whatever, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But I just, you know,
I
these
mean, yeah,
months.
you'll get cold snaps. You'll get heat snaps every so often. Every few years, you get really cold or really hot. But it's not like what you deal with in the cold. I mean, you get cold and it's cold for the next 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, like it starts getting cold in October. Then we got November, December, January, February, March, April.
And
Starts
then
getting a
May, it
little bit.
starts melting a little
Starts
bit.
getting a bit better in May. Then June is usually pretty good. Sometimes May is good. June is good. July is good. August is when we might get our hot spell.
Yeah, and that's when your
Then in
black flies come out.
yeah,
And,
then in September it starts cooling off again. October, November, and it's just a repeat cycle. It's just it's too much cold weather.
well, even with George and me being from the Northwest, you got to deal with the rain factor.
Yeah.
Which you don't see the sun for the whole time. I mean, you're seeing the sun now, which is remarkable.
I know it's this is like few and far between for us, especially this time of the year. Is usually not very clear out like this. And Peter, yes, if we hit 75 degrees here where I'm at, they do issue a heat advisory because of the humidex level.
Yeah.
75 degrees here with the humidity. Right now, I bet you our humidity is in the 90s. And it's sunny and nice out. When it hits 70 and 80 degrees here, if it hits that high, the humidity makes it feel like it's 120 or 130.
Well, it makes it hard to breathe.
You can't breathe. It's stifling heat. You can't. You don't want to move. It's crazy warm.
Yeah,
crazy warm.
I'm same, Gerbs. I lived most of my life in the rainforest, and even in the summertime, you're getting 100-degree temperatures at times. Not very often, but when you get them, you're almost dead because you still got that humidity factor. It's huge.
Yep.
I mean, I'm down here in the desert right now, and we got almost 40% humidity right now, which is just crazy high.
Let's see what I can see for our humidity.
I think I just checked a little while ago. It was 38%, 73 degrees.
This one is not giving it to me. I gotta get on my phone. Oh, Chef is here. Hey, Chef.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, brother.
How we doing?
How is everything? Pretty good. Pretty good.
It's Wednesday.
I'm with you on that one, Gerbs, man. Find a good lake and an umbrella. You're sitting pretty in this heat. If I'm going to be 100% humidity, I want to be in the water.
Yeah.
going on, fellas? Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we
No
can.
problem.
Okay. all right,
Can't
cool.
see you because the comments, but hey.
It's all good.
No,
You don't
that's
need to see me
that's
anyway.
me. Well, he's driving in his car, so let's put it back. No.
There you go. That's fine. I can't see comments anyway, so you know. So what's up, everybody in chat? Hey, y'all got a lot of snow there, huh?
Yes, we had a couple of snowstorms, and they got most of it cleared away now. The reason the wharf doesn't have a whole lot of snow on it is because the waves were coming in and washing it away.
Mm-hmm.
The little shed that's there, that little shed that's there on the end of the wharf, it's kind of hard to see. It's right in amongst the wires.
Right.
That actually wasn't there until the waves started. It was floating around on the wharf for a little while.
You guys get the king tides up there?
Not very
Because
often.
you're
No.
on the west coast.
Yeah, no. The tide gets high. Now they actually had to rebuild the other side of the wharf because the way it was originally, it kind of sloped downward, and when the tide used to come in, it would be underwater. So they had to build it up and redo it.
Wow.
So the water level is after going up since the wharfs were put there originally, which is interesting if you think about it.
So the king tide's only a west coast thing? That's kind of weird.
I don't think we have the king tide here.
Oh man, we get them and it's above normal, big time. Yeah, Oregon gets hammered with them. Washington gets a little bit. California, Northern California gets a little bit, but yeah, Oregon gets absolutely nailed with king tides, and it's a tide that'll come in and just blow the banks. And
Yeah,
it's
that must get
usually
pretty.
December, January when they come in with full moons and stuff like that.
That must be pretty interesting.
It is. I mean, I got a video out there I did years ago, looking at the damage from one blowing through in Washington, and it was like, wow. I wished I'd have been there for it. That would have been much more fun. But just seeing the damage that it caused blowing over the jetties, and I mean, it would blow over your wall right there, right through those buildings and everything.
Oh God, yes. When they come in, it's a lot of water coming in.
Yeah.
Now the closest we have to that, like, we get a tide similar to it, but not the depth. Like, we'll get the tides that go out and they come in really fast, but it's not as much. There's not the height to it, so it's not like a king tide.
These
It's not
tides
like,
come in and then they just keep coming in.
yeah. It's
I mean,
like
you'll hit your
tsunami
normal
type thing.
tide height. You got another 6 hours of the tide coming in on you.
Yeah. No,
We need
it's
some
not like
tides out here.
we don't get that here.
Yeah, we don't get that here. That's for dang sure.
I could live without that, I think.
You've
But
got a great view from where you are. It'd be kind of cool.
oh yeah, I could just watch it coming in and taking everything away and going out, and I'll be like, oh, look, it's the king tide.
Yeah, you'll find most of the western coast of the United States and Canada, they avoid building right on the water because of these tides, because they will come in and wipe out everything.
Well, that's I was watching a thing there last week, I think, and they were talking about the ice caps melting and all this stuff, and they were saying if all the ice melts, the sea levels are going to rise by 1 meter.
It should be 3 meters, but hey.
Well, even if it's 3 meters, I'm looking out the window and I'm saying,
well, yeah, that should be all right.
Worry about it. That'll be all right. The fish plant might be a little underwater, but I'll be okay. So I'm not too concerned about that. Not where I'm too.
Yeah. No, I'm more worried about that. And your islands get smaller.
Yeah, there's not very many low-lying areas in Newfoundland like that.
No, you know, we were talking about it yesterday, and your coastline just goes up.
Yep.
You know, kind of like
It's almost
for Jonesy on Tasmania. We're talking about that too. Or this coastlines just go up. People live within the coastlines, but
one of the big things, I think, one of the big problems it might cause here will be around certain parts of the coastline. Some of the boats are not going to know exactly where the rocks are to now that are under the water.
Yeah, because they don't have them.
They don't have them marked. Like out in the harbor here now, in the summertime, they put two buoys out.
Yeah, the red and green.
Mark them where the points come down under the water. So you just go in between it.
Yeah, Florida, most of California, be gone.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem, but some people don't like the idea.
California being underwater will put out all the fires.
They just moved north. And it's not like Oregon and Washington don't get enough fires anyway.
Hey, all this global warming stuff, we're just trying to put an end to the fires in California.
California.
Oh my. 3 meters, Jerb said the waters would rise. Yeah. I knew. Either way, it could rise like 6 meters, and I still wouldn't have an issue.
Yeah. You can still reach your road.
Yeah, I could still go out on the road and drive away. Now, when you get up the road a little bit, they'd have some problems because the road kind of goes down and then comes back up. So
we have roads in Western Washington that are just levee roads. And they run through, I mean, you can see the water on both sides right now.
They'd be completely
gone. Yeah, they would be gone.
But there's a spot up the harbor where one of the houses is built out on the water, up by where the mail is. You've probably seen it in some of my videos, but it's right on the water. And there's been times where I walked up and the tide is just in. And it's up around his steps and up around his house. And I'm like, I don't know how he can live there like that. You know, it's got to be flooding at some point.
Yeah. Oh, plan ahead. You know, always keep your eyes on the tides.
Yeah.
I mean, a 13-foot tide's going to come up close on anybody on the coast if you're low enough, you know.
Well, at this point, his house would be underwater. If that happened. That's the thing. It's like the slipway up where the boats are to. That would all be underwater because that's at wharf level. Right? That's where in comes some of the issues. Like if you drive up the wharf don't change level, but you can watch the road ends up level with the wharf, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we would see some issues.
Hi,
here.
Rebecca.
I wouldn't. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so I finally got my game to work that I bought. I had to go onto an older computer. I had to download an old version of Steam. So every time I turn on the computer, it says updating Steam.
Right.
But I can launch and play my game now, so yay.
Nice.
I'm finally getting my money's worth out of it. I only bought it like almost 10 years ago. Not that long, but it's been years. It has literally been years. It's at least 5. 5 years ago I bought that game for sure. It was way before I was at YouTube. I was still in the game, and then I bought that, and I wasn't able to play it, and I was very upset.
Why couldn't you play it at the time?
Because it kept telling me I had to buy it. I had to purchase it from Steam in order to play it. I'm like, I bought a hard copy of the game. I got in touch with one of the administrators at Steam, and they unlocked it for me because I had the CD code and everything, and I sent them a picture of my actual game. I'm like, I bought the game.
Yeah, I've had to do that a few times for
Yeah.
putting games into Steam. It was
Yeah.
just send them your code, and they would give you access to the download, to activate the download through Steam.
So every time I go to launch that game, the little window pops up and says launching Steam, and then the game starts. Right? Which is, I don't care. It's not that big of a deal. But it is a bit of a pain in the butt when I had the game and bought and I wasn't able to play it.
Yeah, that's kind of stinks.
Mm.
I had many games that I tried to play through Steam, and there was no way.
I got a game that I was playing through Steam, MechWarrior, and there was a lot of us at one time that were playing it, but when we used to play on MSN Game Zone, and then they took MSN Game Zone away,
Yeah.
and now we tried playing on Steam, but it didn't work as good, so pretty much everybody just gave up on playing the game.
Yeah.
That happens too.
I mean, I can access most of my games through Steam, and it's not an issue, but there's a couple that there's just no way. I mean,
Yeah.
Steam ruins the game for the performance issues.
Well, I've been trying to get my hands on some of the older games like Age of Kings and some of the old Command and Conquer games and like Red Alert and Red Alert 2, and I can get them on downloads, but I'd like to actually get the physical copies of them.
That would work for me if I had something to actually take a CD.
Yeah. Well,
I do have an external CD I could plug in and plug a disc in, but it's like at this point, no, I want everything in digital download and secured, which I have not just Steam, I have 3 other companies that I actually have digital download subscriptions with.
Yeah.
That helps with some of the older games, especially.
Well, that's what I might end up having to do because, like, I got my CD drive right there. It's an external CD drive I can plug into the laptop or my other computer that doesn't have a drive. But my desktop does have a CD drive, and it's running Windows 7, so it would be backwards compatible with most of the older games that I've been trying to get.
Yeah, I have to run because I'm in Windows 10 right now, and
so you got to go in and
through a different way.
You got to go in and change them, so it's like run this as Windows XP.
Yeah, basically,
yeah.
Run them compatible for XP, and most of them will work that way.
That's what I had to do with MechWarrior when I tried playing it before. I had to go in and change the administration thing on it to say run.
Oh, that's
as
such
Windows.
a big game. You should be able to play that on your phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never even heard of any of these games.
MechWarrior. MechWarrior. Chef's like, I should not have come in here today, Chef's.
We used to do a lot of mech LAN parties and stuff like that.
Yeah. We had, do you ever remember there was a clan called EMC? Elite Mech Commanders. It was the biggest clan on MechWarrior. It was the biggest clan. They were the biggest group ever. And you had to do tryouts to get for qualifications. So
you must have had to have internet.
Oh yeah. You had to have internet.
We didn't have internet back then though.
Yeah,
we all sat down in a room and connected our computers together to do LAN networks and stuff.
Yeah. But that's a fun way to do it too. If you can connect a bunch of things together and have a bunch of people all get together to come in and.
Oh yeah, it's great. You pass the bottle to somebody next to you, then kill them because they're drinking.
It's like, hey. That's not fair. I wasn't ready. Yeah, you were ready. You were drinking.
You were ready. Same thing happens to me when I get the bottle.
Yeah. It's like, look, he's slowing down. Oh, he got the bottle. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually thought about doing that with my PlayStations, connecting them together to, because I got two PlayStation 3s here, and I was thinking about connecting them together, but I don't have any doubles of the games because you'd need doubles of the games to do it.
Yeah. A lot of games you don't have the clone for.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that stops me from doing that because there's almost nowhere now to go and buy PlayStation 3 games. And all of my games are just singles, so it's not worth trying to network them for me. But that's it.
Jason out of gum got me hooked on this Green Hell game.
What is it? Green Hell?
Yeah, I've not been able to put it down.
No, I'll play out. I spend maybe a couple of hours here and there on the Supreme Commander game, and that's usually one mission, a couple hours, just because I'm slow at it.
Well, it's better than the 2 or 3 weeks it takes me to do one mission.
But I'm getting through the campaign on it, and it's been pretty fun, and I'm glad I was able to get it up and going. I might start getting back into some of the computer games. And I might just start replaying a lot of my old games that I got. I'm still very upset about my PlayStation 4. I didn't have it in no time, and it's crapped out on me, and I'm mad. I'm mad about it.
I have a PS4. It just sits there. I think it's been used 3 times. We probably had it for a couple years now, 3 years, 4 years. I don't know. It's been there for a while.
Mine, I use mine all the time, and it crapped out on me. I was very, very mad. I plugged it in. It did nothing. I was like, oh no. So
yeah, I'm not a big gamer unless we have a family game night or whatever.
Yeah,
which is once every couple months.
See me, I buys a lot of. I was originally buying a lot of 2-player games because, one of my friends used to come over and we'd sit down and play games and that.
Oh, Mortal Kombat right off the bat for a 2-player game.
Yeah. But he since he passed away, so he don't come over anymore. Thankfully, he passed away. I hope he don't come over anymore.
Thankfully, damn.
But, not thankfully he passed away. I'm just thankful he's not coming over anymore.
Not still coming over to play games.
I didn't know how to take that. I was like, damn, okay.
No. I said he don't come over anymore. He passed away. Well, thankfully he's not coming over anymore, because if he is, then we got some serious issues.
Yeah.
Hey, Chef, I'm going to be in your area in about 3 weeks.
Okay. I won't hold my breath. I'm just kidding.
I'm not holding mine either. I'll tell you that. You know how it works.
Don't go buying any special ribs or nothing.
Oh no, I'm heading over and I'll just bring the food.
There you go. There you go.
We know you can't cook, so I got to do it.
Yeah, I can't cook for nothing. That's why there's no content on the channel anymore. Cause
Chef is not cooking anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how to pretend anymore.
That's because little Chef took it over and she's beating you now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh my.
Yeah, if you end up coming out this way, you already know. Hit me up, man. You got the number.
I will.
You got the contact info.
Yep. Yeah, I'll text you
I'll
if
be
I
sure to
know
be
I'm
out of
going to be
town.
there for sure. I'll let you know.
Did you hear me?
Oh, I heard you.
Yeah,
You're just choosing not to acknowledge it.
yeah.
I'm not going to give him that much warning.
No, the warning will be like, hey,
Well, who?
look out your
Nah, you
window.
What
got
you
the wrong
doing about an
number.
hour from now?
Chef's already got go bags in the car.
Yeah. No, I need a little more time than that, man. Just to make sure
Oh,
I am
I
home.
know. I'll give you a day or two.
Yeah. Little Chef's got a lot coming up, dance wise. So if it's weekend times, that probably won't work for the next month. But during the week, after in the afternoon would be fine.
No.
So, or you can even pull up by the job, shoot, come out, be like, "What's up, man?" But if you want some food, then that's got to be in the evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like other people's cooking, so you'll have to come over and eat my food.
I mean, I can always make it the day before, like I've done with other people. It's still good reheated. If you got somewhere to heat it up.
Oh yeah.
So
My.
yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, I will. I mean, once I have a concrete set of what I'm doing, which I don't. I'm going to
Yeah, definitely.
Tucson here next week, next
Okay.
Tuesday. I think I'm heading to Tucson. I'll be there a week. And then I've got a week to play with. And the wife's talking about going somewhere just north of Phoenix. So, in the area.
I was in the neighborhood, so I decided to stop in.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to last year. We just didn't go that way. I know he's over in Mesa, so and I think where we're looking at going do some boondocking isn't far from there. And I know we're going to Phoenix at least to pick up somebody from the airport. Which really sucks.
I'm about
I don't like
30
going to
minutes.
town.
I'm about 30 minutes east of the airport. Well, like
Yeah.
southeast.
Yeah. I'll work it out if we can.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, guys. Now you know where to find Chef.
Yeah. Southeast of the airport, which is a very big area.
It
Come on
is.
down.
Heading that southeast.
There's only
all
a
you
few
gotta do?
thousand houses.
You just gotta
Tony
stop every
knows.
now and again. Stop every now and again. Roll down the windows and smell.
Right.
You'll know when you're getting
maybe we
closer.
just go to his work and complain about the food.
Oh boy.
Which doesn't happen.
I complain about the food at my work too.
I
Some
was
of
up
the
there
stuff, some of the
camping.
stuff people microwave is crazy.
My. What a day, what a day. The
Go
sun's
ahead,
starting
Tony.
to disappear.
I don't even remember the last time I used a microwave.
You got a microwave in the mobile home though, don't you?
Oh yeah.
I thought you said
very handy. It's very handy. If you want to do nachos, yeah, microwave's the way to do the nachos.
Yeah.
But the last time I did nachos, I did them right here on the grill. The whole
I did him out on a fire one time.
they're yum.
Oh good. So good done on a fire.
I mean, been weeks now. I was up with a group in Quartzsite, and it was the first time I've eaten somebody else's cooking. And I don't know how long. I cook all my food. I don't like to go out to eat. I'm not one of the, because I'm telling you what, man, if I order some food, I was like, I could do that better every time. Whether I'm going Italian, Mexican, or what, I'm telling you, I can make that better. And the first time the wife's like, bull. And she wanted a smoked salmon fettuccine with garlic sauce. I don't make a smoked salmon fettuccine very often anymore. I make a shrimp fettuccine and garlic sauce now. And she's like, oh, yeah, hard on it every time. She's like, yep, you're right. $30 a plate. I can make it for $30 for 3 plates. Hey.
There you go.
That's stuff Nicole likes. Fettuccine shrimps and stuff like that.
Yeah, the shrimp I like better than the smoked salmon. It's harder to cook, but because shrimp's delicate. I mean, all you got to do is smoked salmon is warm it up a little bit. You're done. You know, you throw it in with the sauce and mix it.
I've had shrimp many different ways. The only way I like shrimp is just a plain shrimp with the dipping sauce, seafood sauce.
That's not bad. Somebody makes a good.
It's the only way I like them.
I did that with a little bit of melted butter and some summer heat. Wow.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
I've tried them with so many different things, so many different ways, but no, I don't know what it is. I don't like the flavor of the shrimp going through other stuff.
Shrimp, eat them all day long. I mean, I grew up in the Northwest, and you guys got to have access to shrimp up there.
Yeah, we got shrimp. I get shrimp in this. Well, I get it in the supermarket, so I don't really get it. We don't have any shrimp boats here in the harbor or nothing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, but we do get it in the supermarkets and that a lot of times, and I just usually buys the shrimp ring, and it has the sauce in the middle.
Yeah,
and those are I love those, but I don't use them for cooking or not. I just warms them up and eats them.
All right, he's banned from cooking.
Nicole buys the bags.
I like the bags of frozen shrimp. Mm-hmm. Yep, the little ones.
And that's what she used them for cooking. She puts them in everything. I'm like, no.
Well, if you're gonna put them in everything, you gotta select what you're doing. You can get the little cans of shrimp, the baby shrimp, cans of them.
Haven't
great
seen
for
those.
Salads.
Mm.
Oh, they probably don't ship them to your island. They're great for salads. But frozen shrimp, I like them deveined, detailed.
Yeah.
I not personally like them that way, but that's the way a wife likes them, and it's easier when you're doing that, especially a pasta.
Yeah.
Put them in right at the end, flash them, done. Because shrimp takes seconds to cook.
Oh yeah, they don't. There's nothing to them, sure. It takes no time at all.
But up in Washington, we get the big old prawns, and you
throw
them babies on the grill, and you don't do nothing but eat them as fast as they come off the grill.
Yeah, prawn is different. You don't want them to cool down either. You want to eat them hot.
Yeah. I had a buddy we went camping with, and he's like, "Oh, I brought 5 dozen prawns." Oh, that's cool. So we fired up the grill and set it out there. What's he do? Brings a pot of water over and boils the damn thing. It's like, are you kidding me?
What do you do that for?
When he put the pot down, we're like, oh, he's going to melt a big old pot of garlic butter, you know? No. Water and prawns in there. It's like, oh, damn, dude. And he's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, stop. And he's like, all right, we melt this little thing of garlic and butter and start grilling the prawns, you know, and they're fresh prawns, you know, start grilling them. And like, oh, that's the way to do it. And I was like, yeah. The next time we went camping, the guys like comes out with a bag of oysters. Anybody know how to cook oysters?
I haven't.
Oh, we started laughing.
But I haven't.
You just set them on a grill till they pop open. You pop the top shell off of them, pour a little bit of beer and some chef's habanero in there.
Ooh,
I don't go oysters.
No, I love oysters.
I love
Now,
oysters.
last time I ate an oyster, it was raw, so that might have been
I don't see the
the
problem
turning.
there.
Yeah, but that was the turning point for me. It was like, no. It's just like a salty snot. It's the best way to describe it.
That's the best. A
Uh,
little bit of lemon,
I could
Cholula,
get.
or
I can get.
Tapatio.
Look, if I want to swallow something like a raw oyster, I'll sniff really hard.
Or like Tony said, some habanero, summer heat.
Yeah,
I'll stop at a
Yeah.
place if I'm in an area, we go out or whatever, and there's a spot that says they got oysters. I will stop and go get oysters just to
yeah.
try them out. Yeah,
Oysters can be done so many ways, but they got to be done right every way. And the simplest one is to take a whole oyster, put it on the grill. Once that shell cracks, it's ready to eat. I mean, like you said, you had a raw oyster. Well, I keep an oyster knife in my kit. I walk down to the beach, crack them, and eat them right out of the shell. I have no problems with that.
I like them raw.
No, I can do without the slimy little
My
thing.
mom used to batter them and deep fry them. Those were really good, as long as they're clean. So I'll tell you what, you get one oyster, it's not clean, you get a little piece of shell or a little crab or a pearl in there, and that's really good and hard on the teeth.
Yeah, just a little.
That's why I ain't got no teeth.
I got
Yeah,
other
Pearly
reasons
White's got
for not having
replaced
my
by Pearly
teeth,
Whites. Oh,
I will
no.
say oyster and crab are probably my top twos. A fresh boiled crab, Dungeness crab. Got to get that straight.
I have never had the Dungeness crab, although we do have them here, and I can go down on a wharf and catch Dungeness crab inside the harbor. Never eaten them. I have tried the snow crab, which is our biggest producer here.
They're not as good a flavor.
They're not bad, but I'm lobster. I'll go for lobster any day.
No,
But it got to be hot. If it's cold, I don't like it. It's got to be hot, right out of the shell, hot.
a good sauce and a whole bunch of Dungeness crab meat, you can't beat that as far as flavor. We get rock crab and we get Dungeness up in the Washington. Dungeness, yeah, I shoot for getting those when I'm out there.
I went out to Northern California one time, and I went fishing out that way. And I didn't know they were gonna be doing the crab fishing too. So I'm out there just catching all kinds. Well, not all kinds, but we were rock fishing, and everybody on the boat, the guys that work on the boat, they were bringing up all kinds of Dungeness crab, and they freaking divvied them up amongst everybody that was on there. I didn't know. We had no clue. I show up to my wife's uncle's house with a bag full of freaking Dungeness crab, and they're over there trying to figure out, looking on their phones and doing all this stuff, trying to figure out how to cook them. I had no clue.
Cook
threw
them.
them all in
Pot of boiling water. You toss them in until they turn red. You pull them out.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know. I didn't know that was the first time, right? So that's what we ended up doing. And we sat there and had a bunch of crab, Dungeness crab. First time ever. I was like, cool. That's pretty dope.
My mom worked in the seafood market, so we got to try everything that came through. The best thing we had was octopus.
Never had that, but I would like to try it.
I mean, that was probably that and some Chinese hot mustard. Oh my, that was some good eats.
When the supermarket where I was working, they had the little tiny octopus.
Oh no, we're talking octopus.
Yeah, no, they were only little tiny things, and I was like, It almost looked like they cut the head off of a squid, and that's what they were selling. But it was like little octopus, and I'm like, I don't want that. If I want octopus, I want like a big tentacle octopus.
Yeah, I mean, I want a tentacle at least 2 or 3 inches around.
Mm.
A squid, I don't mind if it's cooked properly.
Oh, I love good squid.
Yeah.
Oh, calamari rings.
If it's not done right, it sucks.
Yeah, it gets rubbery.
I agree.
It's like chewing on a piece of rubber tire.
Yeah, you could be out that for a day, like eating a gooey duck.
But
You don't have
no,
gooey duck there, do you, Al?
no, I don't. I don't think so.
Gooey duck, man. It's got to be done right, and it's a monster clam. It's a clam as big as your head.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have those
The
here.
foot on that thing is almost 2 feet long,
Oh my god.
and the head will poke out of the sand, and you'll see it. You grab the head, yeah, you'll be an hour digging to get the rest of them out of there.
We got Fisherman 506 and Expeditionary John.
Johnny? Oh
That
my
is.
God, Johnny. Come on up, Johnny.
If Johnny comes up, I'm going. No, I'm just kidding.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a good trade.
Are you trying to fill in for Eddie, are you?
Oh, okay. And he wants to come visit me? Damn.
The rock crab in the harbor, probably. They look like Dungeness crab, though.
Yeah, there is a significant difference between rock crab and Dungeness, but yeah, rock crab is everywhere. I thought rock crab was everywhere, and they're good eating. Don't get me wrong; they're better.
Nasty little buggers, though. If they get a hold of you, watch out. One of them got a
So
hold
they
of
can
me when I
snap
was
your
younger.
finger in half. Who cares?
One of them got a hold of my finger when I was younger. That was not nice. That was not nice. No. And even if you break the claw off of the crab, it's still pinches you.
Got you. Yep.
It isn't gonna let go. It's just gonna hold on. I was like,
Hey, Skipper.
Oh, no. Hey, Skipper, you made it.
Yeah, I've been grabbed a few times, and you just take the knife out and you cut that swivel claw part off.
Yeah.
You just smack it right on your hand. You just smack it.
The thing is, though, at the time when I got grabbed by that, I didn't know what to do. I was only young. So I ended up actually having to put, I had the claw broke off of the crab, and I had to put the claw down and smash the claw to get it to open. Because it was stuck onto my finger. I thought for sure I was going to lose my fingernail and everything. It just, the whole finger just turned black from probably
He smashed
my
it
knuckle
good.
down. Oh my god.
They're strong. I
real
mean,
good.
My mom used to bring them by the bucket loads, and she just dump them into the sink to wash them off, before we threw them in
Claws
the toilet.
going everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, as kids, we take a pencil and just set it in there. Snap. It's like, oh yeah, I want to keep my fingers away from this.
Yeah, I'm not putting my finger in there. And
All right,
squid is
gentlemen. Sorry to cut you off, but I got to get going. Little Chef's about to come out, so.
no
Okay,
problem.
so
Tell her hi.
I will. I'll be listening in, though.
Later, brother.
All right. Peace
See you,
out, guys.
Chef.
Later.
Yeah, but oh gosh, the squid is another one that you really got to watch out for when they're live.
Yeah.
I had one take big chunks out of my rubber boot.
Just bite right through it, huh?
He bit right through the rubber boot, right into it. And I'm glad they were a bit big on me because I never got my foot. Because man, what a chunk it took out! I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they can
But
bite.
they got a big beak in them like a parrot, and it scoops. It comes together and it scoops out chunks, and that's what it was doing. I was biting big chunks out of my rubber boot. I was like, "Oh my god, need a new pair of rubber boots after that." But
yeah, if they can go through your rubber boot, you don't want that on your foot.
No, gosh, no. Nasty little buggers. There's lots of nasty little buggers in the sea.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just like I believe it's in the Australian waters, in the warmer parts. There's a little tiny octopus. It's only a couple of inches in length, but it is one of the deadliest animals in the world. It has a poison that it can inject
Oh
into you,
yeah.
and there's no antidote for it. If it gets you, you're dead. And I was actually watching a video one day of Mrs. and it was in a little tide pool, and she was trying to play with it. And I'm like, my dear, you don't know what you're playing with. Leave it alone. Right? She thought it was really cool because it was a little tiny octopus. I'm like, no.
They'll take you out.
Rule of thumb with those things is the smaller they are, the deadlier.
Yeah. Most critters, for that matter.
Yeah. Same as scorpion.
Yeah, scorpion. Yeah,
Scorpion just stung me. Was it big? Yeah, it was huge. Okay, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it's a little one. Don't hold back.
You get stung by a little
Indiana
one.
Jones. Yeah, the Kingdom of the
Indiana Jones
Crystal
movie.
Skull.
You get bit by a little one, you let me know. Yeah. Yep, that's what that comes from. But I knew that anyway because I used to have scorpion for a pet.
I've been stung by what do you call them?
Emperor scorpion?
No, not scorpion, but the jellyfish.
Ooh, ouch.
And man, those things can rip you a new one.
Yep, they can be very, very, very painful. Some of those things.
I mean, that's one thing up there in Puget Sound in Washington. There's tons of jellyfish. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You just flat out try to avoid them. Even when you're diving for crab and stuff like that, it's like I'll swim around him even if I can't hold my breath much longer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's something to see. They're swimming along. They got these giant tentacles just floating behind them. They look really nice, and people are like, oh, look at that, and then it's too late.
Yeah.
But in the little aquarium that we have here, they had some of the jellyfish, the deep sea jellyfish in them, and they were the ones with the little lights, bioluminescent lights on them.
Yeah,
they look really nice. But they look really, really nice.
Oh, I'm sure, but run.
Well, they were in a tank that was not a touch tank, so I figured, I would touch those ones.
I mean, we usually see them from the surface down. So you're just seeing the jellyfish caps. But when you're in the water and underneath there, you can see that they're huge,
Yep. They got this big long tail hanging out behind them that you never notice it.
No. And some of them are massively deadly. I mean, they'll paralyze you enough to where you can't swim.
That would be the blue-ringed octopus, yes. I didn't know what it was called, but I know it's only a little tiny octopus, and it is one of the most deadliest animals in the world. The worst storm I ever lived through, you remember that movie, The Perfect Storm?
Mm-hmm.
That was based on the storm that happened here between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. Two storm fronts moved together. It was worse than we had Igor here, which was bad. But that storm from The Perfect Storm, that was worse than Igor. Like, Igor destroyed a lot of stuff around. When that storm happened on The Perfect Storm, pretty much everything that you see out my window here now was gone. The side wall of the fish plant, the concrete cinder blocks, the waves actually beat the concrete cinder blocks out of the part of the wall. Like, it was so bad. At certain points, the waves were coming in, the swells were coming in. It was almost halfway up the side of the fish plant. The boats were gone, the stages were gone. There was it gutted out the harbor. It destroyed so much stuff. Wasn't even funny. And Igor will be the next one to it. But yeah, that one from the movie, The Perfect Storm. Like if you watch that movie and you see the boat going up those waves, those are the waves that were coming in through the harbor. Like they were coming up over the point that's there on the other side of the harbor. The waves were hitting the houses. Like it was breaking over the top of that point, and the waves was splashing against the houses and everything that were over there. It was bad.
Sounds like some of the stuff my kid was telling me about running the North Sea
Yep.
in the aircraft carrier. And being in the aircraft, he's like, we're in the aircraft carrier, and yeah, you can't keep your balance in an aircraft carrier.
That thing getting tossed around. Like,
You know? He's like, oh, I'm just glad I wasn't up on deck.
yeah.
I'm like, I would have been up on deck, strapped down, and watching. You know?
No, you don't want to be on. Trust me. As nice as you think it will be to get out there and experience it, once you experience it, you don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Not again.
Nope. Nope. It's getting bad. I'm going below deck. I'm going to put on 3 life vests and 2 wetsuits, and I'm going to put a survival suit over it. And when we goes down, I'll just float away. Have I ever had clam chowder? No, I don't like clams. So I would not have clam chowder. No, sorry.
Actually, sounds like a good idea for dinner tonight. Clam chowder and some
There you
biscuits.
There you go. Ideas are floating around now. Yeah, but people take for granted the power of the ocean. And it is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Right? How nice and calm it looks there now.
Yeah, it's
If
great.
you-
Time to go swimming.
If you jumped in that now, it would literally take less than a second and you would be hypothermic.
Yeah.
All right,
Great time to
so-
go swimming.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, you look at the guys that goes out into this water and they're dressed in survival suits and they say, okay, we got 5 minutes to get them out of the water. That's with a survival suit on. If you go in without a survival suit, they're just going in recovery mode.
Yep. No, you definitely you go hypothermic. I've done it.
Yep.
But you have to be prepared when you get out to deal with that.
Well, you're going to have to let us know how it comes out there, Rebecca. But yeah, it's dealing with the after effects is, it can kill you pretty quick because you got to make sure that the blood from your arms and legs can't go through your chest
Yeah.
without warming up first, because if it does, it's going to give you a massive heart attack.
Yeah. We used to do it all the time, and we get a big old raging fire going on the beach.
Mm.
And all right, jump in with your clothes on. Get out, get to the fire, take your clothes off around the fire, and warm your extremities, because the base isn't what the problem is. It's the extremities. That
Yeah.
blood that's frozen in your feet and hands is what's going to cause you the problems. Even though you're really cold in your core, you got to get those.
No, your arms and legs got to be warmed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And your body can adjust and get used to it too.
Oh, absolutely. You can adjust to the cold.
Yeah.
It takes time.
It's crazy watching some of the people cut the big old blocks out of the ice lake,
Jump in the water.
and jump in the water.
But now here's the
That's
thing.
because they do that.
They do that a lot, yes, but they do it in fresh water too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see so many people doing that in salt water because
No.
fresh water, if it's liquid, it's not below 0.
Yeah.
Salt water can stay liquid well below 0.
Below 0, exactly.
So, you're looking at, okay, I'm going to jump in this ice cold salt water, which is literally below freezing. So when you get in it, you literally start to freeze.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
because
this is
you're
where,
not salt.
yeah, this is where in comes the real big issues of ice in your blood vessels and stuff.
Yeah, I've done both salt and fresh water. Usually every March 8th for most of my life, I'd go for those cold polar bear swim kind of things. And there's a couple times, and I'll tell you, the fresh water way easier to deal with. You get out, dry off, put on warm clothes, you're good to go. The salt water, no, you need fire.
Yeah, you need to get heated up.
You need extreme.
It's almost like going into decompression. You need heat and a lot of it. Very fast.
No,
Nice warm
Nikki, I'm
blanket,
not going to
stuff like
do a
that.
video on that. You want to see me cry in my shrinky dink? Not going to
No,
happen.
I think she was talking to Rebecca, Tony.
Oh, I hope so.
I don't think she really wants to see that. No.
Hey, Todd.
Oh my. Todd Kerr, hello. What am I missing? Why is my stuff not moving? Why?
I mean, when I lived up in the mountains, there were times got to do it, Get a big old fire going. This is on a freshwater stream. Get a big old fire going right next to the stream. Yep. Strip down. You're freezing before you even get in the water. You get in the water and you warm up, which was really nice. Then you got to get out of the water. And the first thing you do, you get out of the water, you take the water off your body, you get dressed and sit around the fire. Down on the salt water, it was completely different. You went in with your clothes on because that was your insulator factor.
Yeah.
You get out, get your clothes off, and you sit around the fire naked.
Yep, get your heat building up.
Yeah.
Same way the cold got in you, the heat got to get in. You got to absorb it all through your skin.
I mean, like you're saying, with fresh water, it doesn't matter as much. You just got to dry yourself off and put some clothes on.
Yeah.
And you'll be all right. And salt water, no, you need clothes off and you need that heat coming right through your skin. It's got to warm your blood more directly.
Scott's thing must be still on.
But yeah, I'd jump in your harbor right now. That wouldn't be an issue.
I know, but
there would be a nice fire right in there.
Not me, no. I haven't had to specifically deal with. Now I can say I was probably pre-hypothermic at a couple of times, but I have not been hypothermic, and I don't want to be.
I have been. I've actually spilled a canoe out in the bay one time, and it was a long ways to shore. Fully clothed, insulated for winter.
Yeah, it's a lot of cold.
Yeah, we got back to shore, got a fire going. I mean, expending tons of energy to get a fire going. But it was a matter of just getting the fire going, getting naked, and warming up. And both me and the guy I was with we're scared the whole time because we weren't sure if we were gonna make it. Because that water was like you're looking at right there. But
Yeah, it's freezing.
we're out there an hour in the water.
It's an awful long time to be in the cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Awful long time.
Well, especially in winter clothing for the land.
Yeah.
You're not in winter clothing for the water. You're in winter clothing for the land. So everything's heavy and soaking up every bit of that cold. And it was a hard day.
I bet it was.
But we managed to get through it. We got a fire going. That was the biggest thing, you know. And there's two guys sitting around a fire hugging it naked, you know. He's like, well, we got dry clothes right here on the beach. And it's like, no, you don't want clothes, man. You just want fire.
Yeah, you just want to get the heat in you first.
Yeah. And once it started warming up, put the clothes on, and we were okay. A headache for a couple days.
Yep.
So there's no doubt about it. We went hypothermic on it. So we kept track of each other and kept watch on each other, but we made it through and ended up going back out 2 days later, back out, check the trap we were set, the crab traps we were setting. Because we were setting a trap when we tipped the canoe out in the middle of the water.
I think so. The show Alone, and I seen a guy do that. He was trying to build a boat.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
And he got in it and he got out just a little ways. He was like, "Whoa, splash!" I was like, "Oh my god." That was a mistake if there ever was one. Trying to build a boat. No,
I don't have a problem
probably
with building a boat, but yeah, because that's something I'd probably do is build the boat.
I'd probably build a boat too, but not no rinky dink thing like he had set up.
I'd go for the raft style,
Mm.
where the only thing that's going to get wet is like my feet. You know, I sit down, it's going to get wet, but
I'd build something that I know I am not going to get wet in at all, because I wouldn't want to be in that cold situation with my feet getting wet
a couple
like that.
of people in Alone built the canoes with a tarp.
Yep,
great idea.
It was a fabulous idea. That was.
Yeah. Because you do want to stay dry. I mean,
yeah.
It's too bad they couldn't eat the shellfish.
I know.
It's like,
I ate some of them anyway.
I probably would have.
I probably would have too, but
I would have cooked them and eaten them. I'm sorry.
See, on this coast here, we don't have a red tide like that over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only in the Pacific that they have that. We don't get that up here where, you can't eat the shellfish.
It's
the
not
shellfish
often.
No, it's only every so many years or something like that it happens. But
yeah, according to their challenges, though, it's every one of them.
Yeah,
they can't eat the shellfish, and it's like, are you kidding me? This is the most abundant food source we have here, and you just told us we can't eat it.
But what I don't get about that is they can't eat the mussels and stuff like that, but they can pick all the limpets and eat them.
Yeah,
the limpet it's still a shellfish.
Yeah, it is
still eating.
They filter the same water.
It's eating all the same stuff that the mussels and that are eating. So, right, that didn't make sense to me the way that was.
I have eaten mussels during red tide on the Pacific coast. Never had an issue. I didn't eat oysters or clams, but I've eaten the crabs, the mussels for sure, limpets for sure, but never had an issue with them.
Yeah.
But for the Alone, they're just like, oh, you can't eat any of the shellfish off the shore every season. So I think that to them, it was just something to mitigate the challenge.
Yeah, it seemed like it was more, let's make it so we know they're going to be challenged. They're going to have food challenges. And, you know, it didn't make sense
Anybody
to
that's
me.
been living off the sea knows that there's food every bit of that inch going out into the sea.
But it's not only that, you got all the kelps and everything like that, all the different types of kelps and sea lettuce. Like one guy was eating bull kelp. All he was eating was bull kelp. Why did he not pick the sea lettuce and stuff like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's better for you.
You're bounding yourself up with bull kelp. Yes, you're going to have issues. It's very high in iodine for starters.
Yeah. Which is great for some things, but it's
you
not
don't
great
want
for the digestion.
Yeah, you don't want to have a big knot of that in your stomach. But I mean, like, you got the sea lettuce. You got the I can't remember what the other ones are called. They're like little pods of water.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and they grow everywhere in the ocean.
Yep.
And there's a ton of them when they're growing. If you find it, it's like everywhere, and it's just a big patch of it.
The natives used to, I don't remember what it's called. The natives used to take them, dry them, grind them, and make flour out of the dang things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I mean, like, there was so many different options to eat there.
Yeah.
I don't know why they it seemed like they got their head wrapped around, okay, I can eat this item, so I gotta look for this item only.
Yeah. I'm sorry, if you're in a survival situation,
I'm gonna collect everything that I know is edible.
Yeah.
And in the ocean,
I'm not sure. I'm gonna cook it a little longer.
Mm-hmm. But in the ocean, most every plant that you can pull out of the ocean is edible.
Yeah.
Right?
Almost every bit of every plant.
That's what it's called, bladderwrack. They got the little pods of water, little pods of air, and they float when they're underwater, and when they're underwater, they all fall down. It's called bladderwrack.
Okay.
That's what that is. I knew what it was. I know that I could go out and pick it down there, but I took mussels from down on the shore there one day and bring them home and cooked them. Nothing wrong with them.
I grab mussels when I can. I know in Oregon, you have to have a license for it. In Washington, you don't.
I don't think like if I was just going down and taking a pot of mussels, there's not nothing. I don't think anybody would ever say anything.
No, I don't think anybody would ever yell.
Do you ever see how they farm them? They'll find a place where the mussels are growing, and they'll anchor ropes down, and the mussels will actually grow up the rope.
The ropes, yep.
Yeah, and then they pull up the rope and pick off the big ones and put them back down, let the little ones grow. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of campouts on the beach, on the Pacific Beach, where we didn't bring food. Why are we going to bring hiking food when this place is full of it? You know, and that's what we did.
If you can find places where there's beaches in there too, you get a lot more food because you get clams and.
Yeah, you get clams and you can get crabs a lot easier too.
I know places where you can get crabs easy. Might cost you $50, but I guarantee you're gonna come out with crabs. But I mean, like the ocean is so abundantly full of food, and it's a lot of it gets overlooked.
You know, we know we can't drink the water.
Yeah.
Directly, but indirectly, we can distill that water easily enough, and you can make a micro distiller to get water from seawater. And a lot of people don't understand that one. And it's like the old Native Americans that lived on the sea were distilling water to drink.
Yep, and then as a byproduct of that, you end up with salt.
And you end up with salt for your food.
right? And then
Right.
you can use that salt then to cure foods,
Yep.
to preserve meats and everything like that. So you have stuff for long term.
Yeah.
Right?
And that, you look at survival and the aspects of it, you have to look at the history of the people that live in your area.
Yep.
What did they do? Here, man, I don't know how the people in Arizona survived.
Hey,
But
Billy.
there is edible plants all over the place. Not much for meat as far as that goes.
No, it's not a lot of meat, but a lot of the stuff that's in there also has proteins in it.
Yes.
But it might not be enough proteins for sustainability. That's where hunting and that comes into play,
Yeah.
or other things like crab and crab and mussels you're getting proteins out of anyway.
Yeah. Anything
The
if
fish,
you're on the salt water, there's no reason you can't survive.
no. It's it's like the one of the alones where they put them all on the beaches of these uh it was the salt water running, the freshwater rivers running in, and the salmon run.
Mm.
And they gave them nets, and you had to set up your net and catch your salmon in the river and stuff like that. And
If you actually chose the net as one of your things.
yes,
Outside of that, nets are not hard to make
no.
off the landscape.
Hey, I made a net. Anyone can make a net.
Yeah. Well,
It's as simple as that.
simple fact is roots of a lot of trees break down into really good fibers for making fishing line, nets, all that stuff. So you
Yeah.
don't have to. That's what a lot of these guys on Alone, it's a comedy series to me the most, because I know what survival is. And it's kind of funny to watch these people like Joe Robinette dogging out because he lost his ferro rod in the mud. And it's like, are you kidding me? What's that got to do with any of this process?
And that's what I did. I saw that one. That was the very first Alone series. And when I saw that, I'm like, man, I follows you on YouTube. You knows how to light a fire.
Yeah. He's not
Why
an
are you
idiot.
leaving over the ferro rod? Of all the things to leave about. I mean, he
Yeah.
could have been there for another week. He might have found that ferro rod going back and forth to that same spot. He might have stumbled across it again. But he lost it. And that night, he decided
tags
the
out.
next morning he tagged out. It was like, oh,
It's like, dude knows how to make a wood fire.
he knows how to make a fire from nothing.
Yeah.
He knows how to build a shelter from nothing. He's been doing it for 15, 20 years at this point. Right?
Welcome
Like,
back,
oh my
Dennis.
God.
I mean,
He
he just
does.
popped a video out the other day saying why he's been gone for a while. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And it's like, hey, we all got to take breaks from YouTube.
Yep.
I take breaks in the peak season most times, because I'm into more having the fun than the camera with me.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie?
So am I. And I mean, like, I saw that too, and I said, okay, I gotta go and see what's going on, because I used to watch his videos every single time he uploaded.
Yeah.
I never missed one for a very long time. I'm talking 10 years at least.
That's what I'm looking at too.
I've been watching his videos every week, watching these videos. But here as of late, I haven't been. The past year, say, I haven't really been watching.
I'd say about a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Right in there, because
Yeah.
I lost interest in his content.
Well, I didn't really lose interest in his content, as just I was taking more of a step into my content.
That's a good point.
Trying to work my channel and not not watch these guys because I don't want to be copying what they're doing at the same time they're doing it.
Right.
I want to grow my channel from where I'm
I gotta go
going.
walk around the corner, Al. I'll be right back.
Yep. So, yeah, I was watching him for years and years and years. And then I saw this and I'm like, yep, the burnout can happen really, really easy. You don't have to be a big channel. I burnt myself out there for a while. It happens to everybody at some point or another. So that's something to just keep in mind if you're at this stuff is, you know, eventually you're probably going to get burnt out. But he made his entire life YouTube because that's what he wanted to make his career as. Then when he got his career going, he was going so hard on it, he burnt himself out and he wasn't able to continue making some videos, so he slacked off. And now this is a guy that doesn't do shorts. He doesn't do lives. He only has 2 lives on his channel. He's got like 1.5 or 6 million subscribers. So he's got a very established channel now. Now, I remember when I was following him first, he wasn't. God, he was. I think he was in the 10,000s or something like that when I found him and I started watching it. But I watched him grow right from the nothing right on up to the 1.5 or 1.6 million that he's at now.
He did lose a little respect for me on that alone, though.
Well, that tossed me for a big loop, that did. Because I remember when he was saying about he was going to be on a show or something and he can't talk about it until after it airs. And then when it aired and he came back on and he started talking about it, then I had to go back and watch it because I never watched the Alone Show.
No, I didn't either. I
and
remember the videos, but it was
when
years later when I watched the.
Yeah, he
Alone,
started talking about it, and I had to go back and watch, and I'm like, really? That's why you left? You left because you lost your ferro rod? That'd be like Johnny, Expeditionary Johnny, losing the book of matches and saying, I quit. Right? I quit. I can't do this. No. Johnny! I can give you a toothpick and a freaking pencil and you'll make a fire out of it.
Yeah. Right. And you're right, Jamie. He's still making money. I mean, he is.
Oh, Joe is, yes. Absolutely. He's making... Well, that's how he supports his family, is he's YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? He makes his money from YouTube, sponsored videos and ads, and... You just stop and think, I had...
But still, outdoors bushman, bushcrafter, survivalist, loses his ferro rod. Is he going to quit?
Gives up.
No.
No.
I wished I'd had a ferro rod when I was out there living in the woods. I'll tell you that, because I had to start my fires the hard way every time. And I'll tell you what, I spent a long time making sure I never lost a fire. Keep the fire. Fire was priority.
That's where you get
fire.
The little tinder bundle in the basket. Put the burning ember in it and keep the burning ember going.
Keep that ember going. I built torches to carry my ember from my campsite down to the river. Because when I was fishing, I wanted to fire down in the river while I was down there because I'm in the water. I'm in the water. I'm setting traps. I didn't have a fishing pole or nothing like that. I'm setting traps.
No problem. Thank you for stopping in. We might lose him.
So I had to make sure my campfire was going to go for a good distance while I was down at the river. and I had to carry my fire from my campfire down to the river every time. And yeah, I'd set the torch down, get the fire ready, put the torch in it, light the fire, put the torch out once my fire was lit, so I could take that torch from the river back to
And
my
go back,
camp, and
just in case the fire was gone
just
out
in
there.
case my campfire was gone. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm.
So you always
Oh,
had to
getting
keep the fire
reflection on the
going.
glass. You can see it's dying. The sun is all dying out. I'm getting all kinds of reflection on the glass there now.
You know?
That's it. That's what happens.
But yeah, losing the ferro rod.
That's not a reason to quit.
I look at 18 months living in the woods without a ferro rod. It's like, are you kidding me?
what really got me on this was the following season. Some guy he had the pit fire.
I remember that.
And his ferro rod rolled in the fire.
Right in the fire. Yep.
And he didn't notice it. It was gone. And he went looking for it, and it was gone. And he didn't know what happened if it got. Well, obviously, it's going to burn up if it gets in the fire.
Yeah. If it's in the fire, it's gone.
So, but he didn't leave.
No, he wasn't giving up.
He didn't give up, and he stayed there. And he did the friction fire and made his fire and carried on with life. I mean, like, there ain't no reason in the world Joe should have left for that. Not in my opinion.
No, he did though.
But what do you do? Can't. And he thought he was the first one to leave. He was actually the third one, which was even more surprising because the other guys that left, there was two other guys that left ahead of him, I think.
Yeah.
And one of them left because they couldn't get a fire going. And I can't remember what the other guy left for. I think there was a beer.
Sorry, but you shouldn't be out there if you can't start a fire.
No, even if it's wet and damp and drizzly, and I mean, like
fires can be hard. Don't get me wrong.
It's like me going down here on the back now. Yes, it can be wet and snowy and whatever, and I can go down. I can still get a fire going.
Mm-hmm.
It might take me a little longer on some days, but I'll get a fire going. Now, a lot of times when I was going down on the back, I was using my ferro rod just because I had it. Now I just want to practice with it.
I still very seldom use the ferro rod.
But a lot of times I go down, I use a lighter.
Yeah, I mean, give me a dang lighter.
There's my fire.
Last camping trip, I didn't even bring my fire kit, and I was like, I opened up the hatch in the back of the Jeep, and it's like, oh, okay, nice. I guess all I got's my little lighter, which I got a good lighter, so it lights every time, works fine. And it was like, okay, that's all I got. No big deal. Boom.
I always has a ferro rod in my backpack because if it gets wet, it doesn't hurt it.
Yeah. Well, I have mine in a
It's just as an emergency.
In my first aid kit. I don't use anything in my first aid kit unless I absolutely have to, which I do have a lighter in there. I do have ferro rod. I do have wax. I do have a fire starter kit in my first aid kit, but I don't use, if I don't have to, I don't use any of that. I got go into that first aid kit.
I got stuff like that in my first aid kit, and unless I absolutely have to, I will not touch it. I won't touch the lighters that are in it, the matches, anything like that. That's a first aid kit. It's there for a specific reason.
That's an emergency use kit. And that is, if I'm not dying, and I'm out here in the desert, I don't absolutely have to have a fire. It's like I'm not going to dip into my emergency kit.
It's in the middle of the night. It's in the very middle of the night. Temperature kind of drops off, but as long as you got a good sleep system, you don't need a fire. Well, it's like me when even here on last winter, in November. Because October we did the 5-item challenge. November we
Right.
did the
And that was
overnight.
still the worst. That 5
Just-
item challenge was the worst for me.
Mine went good.
Yeah,
But
yours
the,
went good. You just kept putting your fire out. But I couldn't get one started. Johnny couldn't get one started. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. We're doing this and we can't
all
put
these
a fire.
all these guys couldn't get the fire going. I'm all up north putting mine out with a pot of water. But no, even when I did that, the next one we did was the sleep system setup where I laid out in my hammock.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it got cold.
I'm still sleeping in a hammock. It's sitting
Yeah,
right
but
there.
it got cold. It got really cold that night.
I don't have the cold issue.
I think DJ said it was 20 Fahrenheit at one point.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but with the wind and everything, it gets cold. And up north, it was cold. Like, I couldn't keep my hands out on my phone because I went live from
You
there.
kept having to switch. One
I kept
tucked
every
in.
minute I'd tuck one in and I'd switch, and then I'd switch and tuck one in. I'm surprised the battery on my phone lasted as long as it did.
That's what gets me sometimes. The batteries. It's. I was doing one. I was up in Washington last April or something like that. I was like, turning on the camera, boom, battery dead. What are you kidding me? That's fully charged battery.
Yeah.
All right, grab the spare battery, shove it in there. Battery dead. Okay, this ain't working.
You take them. What I tries to do when I goes out is
I put them in my pockets under my outside layer. I put them in my inside layer, you know.
Put them in my pockets while I'm out walking around doing stuff. Or that usually keeps them pretty good for me. But then when you take them out to record, the battery life just starts dropping off super fast.
I mean, even my Canon camera that I use for my photographing and stuff like that, it was like, all right, fine. Put the whole camera inside my vest.
Warm up the whole thing.
There. Just warm the whole thing up. The battery life goes a little longer when you warm the whole thing. Sorry, I got little fly catchers. This type of bird comes in here all the time for dog food. They take two, they swallow one chunk, grab another, and leave. So I don't really have a problem with them.
Okay, just hang. I'm just watching a short that Nicole is doing.
She's doing the short during your live.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, you're gonna want to watch that one when it comes out. You're definitely gonna want to watch that one when it comes out. I'm not gonna say nothing about it because you're gonna have to go to her channel and watch it.
I'll have to make sure I'm still saved.
Oh my god. It'll be on the wine cellar.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I hardly ever get notifications anymore.
Well, she doesn't do anything but shorts, and I don't get notified for shorts unless I'm tagged in them. So, one of her shorts is at 25,000 views.
It's pretty damn good.
Amazing. That's amazing. She's doing fantastic with it.
Well, keep pounding them.
Yeah. What are we at here? Okay, we still got a bit of time. I got some heartburn going on now. I don't know if it's the juice or the supper I ate, the dinner I ate. Probably the dinner dressing with savory.
I'm not even close to dinner yet.
What are you talking about? It's almost supper time now.
No, it's 2:41.
It's past supper time now because it's 6:11. 6:11. You know what's sad? I got my pocket knife here, but I can't find my other pocket knife. I don't know where it's gone to. I'm after searching through all of my clothes and stuff like that, and it's my little wooden handle one with the brass that I just bought, and it's the one that I was taking with me all the time. So I kind of wants
That's
to
pretty
find it.
bad, Al. I carry a little tiny knife.
Yeah, mine is like a.
That's my pocket knife, basically.
That's it
And
there.
the rest of you know me. I keep the real knife handy.
Yeah. Well, this is like a going out, just a going out knife. Stick it in your pocket and go on. My knives for down on the back, because I got my Mora knife.
Yeah. My
And
Mora
my-
I keep in my whittling kit.
And my
That's your bush knife?
mossy oak.
Okay. Well, that thing looks new.
This is like 4 or 5 years old now.
You need to get out and use it some more.
Oh, this has been used. This has been used, but here's the thing. I look after them.
Yeah, I'm not much for that. I make sure I got an edge.
Yeah.
I
I paid
don't care about the rest.
I paid $30 for the set. There was 2 in the set. There's that one and a little one. It's like a little mini one for carving or whatever. And no, I use it like I'll swap. Sometimes I'll have just this. A lot of times I'll have this and that one in my backpack, and I'll just use them. Whatever one I get a hold of first is what I'm using.
I keep
But
3 permanent knives in my backpack. One is what do you call it? Leatherman.
yeah,
The utility knife.
Yeah.
I keep a Mora, and then I keep the what do you call it? Opinel. Opinel is only used for food.
yeah.
So
I use the same knife I'm carving the tree with is the one I'm cutting my meat with.
my Opinel is definitely that way. My Mora is more of a like making my fire sticks and stuff like that.
Making your shavings and your curls.
Yeah. I carry the K-bar. I hardly ever use that. I use it for splitting wood and stuff like that. But or cutting down a tree, whatever I need large stuff to be done for. But
That's
if
why
I'm
I bring
processing an animal, I want that Opinel.
Yeah.
Because that thing is built
super sharp
just for that. Yeah. I mean, the Mora is nice for a lot of things, but most of the time I just use it for whittling. Carving a spoon or something like that,
I have used this knife as a singular knife in my backpack. This is the only knife I took with me many a times. It's never failed me. It's Sweden. It's made in Sweden.
Yeah.
But this one is a stainless steel. It's not the carbon steel.
I wish I'd gone for stainless when I bought mine.
So I don't have to worry about it rusting up. It doesn't rust up on me. Like the carbon steel will get that tarnish.
Yeah.
And that layer on it. Yeah. And that tarnish is not bad, but it's the little spots of rust that start coming into it you got to watch for.
Yeah. Which I do take care of them, but
But I mean, like, this is after being through literally everything. Now, I did break, there was a ferro rod in the handle,
Yeah.
and I cracked off the ferro rod. That was a stupid mistake, though, because I was trying to use the ferro rod with the axe or something, and it snapped off the ferro rod. Hey, my dude's missing an arm. I just noticed. I just noticed there's an arm on the floor.
How's it coming along with that armor?
I haven't really started the new one yet. I've been doing some measurements and that with cardboard, and so I got my chest plate and that measured out, and I got the fingers. Well, I was working on. I got the fingers here. I was working on the little pieces. These are going to have to be separated and glued on because if not, they're not going to bend properly.
Right.
Right, they're going to have to be separated at the seams. Otherwise, they're not going to bend properly when you got them on. But that's no big deal. I'm not worried about that. I've been collecting some supplies with stuff I got to do because, like I said, I'm not going to be able to glue this together unless I use like an epoxy or something like that, JB Weld or something. But
Right.
I'm going to put a lot of it together actually with nuts and bolts and washers, and like it's actually going to be like an armor type. Once I get the nut and the bolt in, I'm going to try to peen the top of the bolt so it doesn't, the nut can't come back off. Once it's on, it's on. It's a permanent fixture.
Yeah.
Then I'm just trying to work out the dynamics of how to make it so I can put it on and have it kind of seamless. So I'm thinking, like, this is my plastic. If I take a nut, they're just little ones, little tiny ones, and I heat it. I drill a little hole, I heat the nut, I sink the nut into the plastic.
Hey, camping.
Hey, camping cage tree. And then have an overlapping piece with a hole in it that just a little screw goes through, and it'll screw right into the plastic kind of thing.
So it's not much difference in doing the metal armor.
No, it would be very similar to doing the metal armor, only I can't really hit it as hard as like to peen over the top of the bolt or something like that. You can't really. You got to be very careful where you're hitting. You don't want to, you don't want to snap or crack the plastic while you're doing it. You want to just peen over the bolt. But then for the spots where it's going to be able to open so I can get it on, I'm thinking, well, these ones are not going to be peened over. They're going to have to be cut to size. And I'm going to have a screwdriver or something, and literally it'll be all screwed on, and when it's on, you got to deal with it.
Well, I think when I'm up there in Washington, because I'm going to have a lot of time moving around a small area.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and start working on pauldrons and gauntlets.
Oh, nice.
I got the forge, so it's easy for me to form the metal now.
Yeah. See, I don't have. If I had the room and that to make a forge, I'd probably have a forge set up so that and that's what I'd be doing. I'd be doing metal and doing a full-on metal set of armor, and because that's something I've always wanted. And it was nice. I made the gauntlets. Y'all seen the gauntlets that I got made?
Yeah.
And they came out really well, especially considering that's the first time.
You can make almost any armor without a forge.
Oh yeah, I could, but a forge just makes it so much easier for doing
especially for the larger pieces, like the pauldrons, and the shoulder guards and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot easier to cup the metal.
Yeah.
If you've got not even a forge. You could have a campfire, but you need a way to mold them.
Well, that's the thing I looked at too, because I had the fire pit out on the back step for a long time, and I could have used that for forging.
No,
But
I
there's
mean,
still the
I got
anvil
my
and
forge for
know.
making hooks, knives,
Mm.
minor stuff. I mean, but really thinking about like the gauntlets. The forge is awesome for it because it's all small components. I got a small forge, so I could easily heat them up. Boom, done. Next
Yeah.
part, boom, done. You know, next part, boom, done.
Throw a piece in. When you take that out, you put a new piece in. You go over, you work, you swap. You go over, you work, you swap.
Yeah.
You're done. Right?
And then, you know, as long as your steel isn't hardened, it's easy to drill, put the rivets in, and
Yeah.
those who don't know, there's hundreds of rivets in anything.
How many times did I watch Forged in Fire and the guys are building the blade and they quench it and then go over and start trying to drill holes in it?
Yeah.
Like, no.
I'm working on a kitchen knife right now, a chef knife. And I was like, all right, I know I quenched the blade, but I didn't quench the handle. That third hole up towards the blade, I can't get through.
Pretty hard. Pretty hard.
It's like, I really don't want to throw this thing back in the forge so I can drill a hole.
What I've seen
I'm going to have to.
What I've seen people do with the kitchen knives in it is they'll make a skinny trough and when they heat the blade, they'll only quench the sharp part.
Yeah.
So the rest of the blade still stays soft. And it's supposed to give it a bit more flexibility or something like that, but it would definitely make it easier for drilling. Definitely make it easier for drilling holes for sure. Really nothing to look at. I think, you know, it's winter here. Do you see it? You see what's in my next to me here? This is out my window. Yeah, so it's cold here and it's dark now. Show and tell. Yep, it's going to be a show and tell. Ooh, nice. It's a nice drop on there too.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good, but the only hole, you can't even see it. There you go.
So it's going to be 2 holes instead of 3, is it?
Yeah, I tried to put a hole up in here. I can see it on the side. I tried to drill it.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
And it was pretty dang hard. It was 5160 steel. Beautiful knife. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is doing some grooving. So the epoxy holds it in place. But
yeah,
what a bummer. I was like, oh man, I didn't want it to get hard anywhere up in here.
What if you wrap that, Tony, in wet towel and just heat the spot where you're trying to put the hole through?
I thought about that, and I'm definitely going to try it because I definitely got, you know, you can see I got a lot to still take out of the blade edge.
Yeah, but if you do that should work to keep, because that'll keep the blade part cold, right?
Good and straight. Beautiful knife, but
Camping Cage Free wants to know how long is the blade? Let me make a guess.
Blade
And say
edge,
12?
11 inches maybe.
11. I said
10,
12. So
10 to 11 on the blade edge.
nice.
It's heavy still. I got a lot of meat to take out of this thing, but
Yeah, but that's part of the refinement of it too. That gives you lots of room there for refining the edge
Yeah.
and the profile of the blade.
well,
So
and they get out of the imperfections of the hammering, and
yeah,
you see all the hammering imperfections in it.
well, it's definitely not like one of the last guys I watched on Forge and Fire. He was
This
taking
thing
what
will cut up a cannonball in a heartbeat. I know what
he
this
was
is made of.
taking. He was taking lawnmower blades, and he just cut the shape of the knife on the lawnmower blade and quenched it, and ground it down. And
That's not bad. I mean,
no,
I
it's
have
not. But
a good camp knife that would make a good camp knife or something
they
like
sent
that.
him home. They sent him home. They said, "This is as much as your knife might look good." They said, "This is forged in fire, not ground in fire."
Right.
Because that's all he did was grind it down, and he didn't really use the forge at all, other than to heat the metal up to quench it.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, this
I
is
have some knives I've made out of different materials, and I'll tell you what, I have a sax I made out of S2 or H2 something H211 or something like that. Non-forged, but I had to take a lot of time to grind it into shape without ruining the temper on the metal that was already come out. It's a planer blade for planing logs.
nice.
Nice, Rebecca. You have to post a pic when you're done.
Always someone reading the rules. Yep.
Yeah. I kind of laugh at the guys at Forge and Fire, and it's like, I can make a knife in a couple hours. Easy enough. But these guys are under stress.
Yeah,
And it's like the guys that come in there that aren't stressed,
they're the
do
ones
well.
turns out the best ones.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like, I'm just doing my work. I'm good.
They're not looking up at the clock constantly. They're just doing the
Yeah.
work. They know how long it's going to take them to do this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
So they has
Done
things
it
going.
100 times. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I already have the handles for the. I already have the handles from this, which is a Madrona.
See, I would like to go on Forged in Fire as a no experienced blacksmith at all. Because
that
I'm
would
not.
Be fun. I'm not either.
Right? No, but you have some experience because you forge stuff. I don't. You know what I forged in my life? I made a little tiny blade about this long. No, a metal I used because I was watching Forged in Fire and I don't have a forge, so I took 3 blow torches and stood them so all the flames were like this.
Yeah.
And I put my metal in there and I heated up. I used a file and I heated it up and I turned over a 3-pound mallet. That was my anvil. And I had just a regular hammer.
No.
And that's what I used to hammer that little blade. It's not sharpened and it's not quenched, but it looks like a nice little knife. And eventually I might get around to quenching it and sharpening it down because I need to hook up my grinder in that so I can grind it a bit.
I don't have a grinder. Well, I have
well, that's what I mean, the angle grinder. But this is what I'm saying. I would like to go on Forged in Fire as I have no experience. How much can I do in the time that you're going to allot me?
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of that depends on what you're dealing with.
Well, that's the other thing.
Materials.
Yeah, are you making canisters? You just got a ball bearing? Do you have a piece of Just
This is a
stock
piece
steel
of
or
5160 spring steel off an old Corvette.
yeah.
There's a leaf spring off a Corvette.
And the spring steel is one of the best things for forging blades out of.
As long as it's not overly stressed.
Yes.
And you find that really quick when you quench the knife.
Yeah, because it'll splinter or it'll pop apart.
Yep.
But I mean, like, say I was given a piece of spring steel.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you I could forge that into a nice little knife. Right? Just by
Yeah, I mean, you can.
hammering it out. But I mean, like, I've never done it before. And I knows I would get very tired doing it. Because a lot of swinging of the hammer.
Take energy.
But I'd still like to do it and see if I could actually, even make it to round 2 and I'd be happy.
Because I have no clue on how to make a handle for this.
Yeah. No, well, I would actually be able to do a handle too. It's just the pins and stuff is sometimes a bit messy with me.
Right.
But I'd figure it out. Right. That's the way my mind works. I'd be thinking about that the whole while. While I'm hammering, I'm not thinking about this. I'm probably thinking about what way am I going to do the handle. That's what would be going through my mind, not what way is this blade coming out.
Right.
But that's just the way I look at things. But it will be fun, I would think. Yes, my, what time? Oh my, we're gone over.
Bummer.
Holy cow, we're gone over. I don't think there's many 6 people here. Thank you everyone for coming in. Tony, you got anything coming up you'd like everybody to know about?
Nope, nothing fancy. I might do a drive tomorrow. We'll see.
Nice. They are always fun.
Well, there's a stagecoach run out here in my area that avoids the highway for a while. And I'm thinking about going out and filming it. I've done it a couple times in Jeep now. I'll tell you what, you want the Jeep. But
let's not run
it might be something I'll just film while I'm doing it.
Nice. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. Alrighty, guys. I just want to say thank you very much for everyone that stopped in. All you guys that were up on panel with me. Tony, of course, as always. And don't forget, guys, be safe.